where we are playing catch up because I have been collecting new marker sets / random markers, but I haven't been swatching them at all. And that is becoming a problem in the sort of space that I don't have color references for anything. And it's sort of driving me crazy. So we are going to swatch as many of these as I have cards for. And I don't actually know how many I've got cards for. I cut 3 full pages. So we'll have to see how many I have cards to do. But I also have my book because in some cases, like the Faber-Castell pens, which are over here, I had a partial set up here, and then I received a full set from Faber-Castell, which is lovely, and I'm very thankful for it, but it has meant that I no longer know what the colors I have look like. So I figure we will start with the random couple things that maybe I've just added a couple colors of. So in this case, Tombows and mild liners, because also they've already got a tray. After that, it sort of goes downhill from there. But if you've got any questions about whatever markers we're using, let me know. It's a real mishmash. You'll learn I'm not picky about my markers. Grab a reference card so I know how I order these normally. If I can open this packet. There's a reference card for those. There's a Tombow reference card. There's a Pentel reference card. Oh, and I need a Faber-Castell. There's a Faber-Castell reference card. All right, let's get into this. We're also using a desk mat because I don't want to get ink when I'm stamping these on my desk. So right now my thought is to start with mild liners. No, we're going to start with the one Tombow. I'm also not dedicated to the idea of corner rounding all of these. This has ink on it. Why does this have ink on it? Why has this leaked everywhere? I don't know, but it has. All right. For Tombow, I color in the full thing. Bet you this isn't the correct ink color. I've got a couple different gray ink pads. I had assumed it was this one because it seemed like the right color, but now it looks wrong. Also, I should be making Christmas cards right now. I should not be swatching inks or swatching things, but I am. That is the wrong color. All right. What color should this actually be? Where's inks? No, it is this color because shadow gray is too light. So it must just dry down. This is Tombow 835. Persimmon. There we go. One done. many to go. My thought is to do the mild liners next. I'm not going to corner around these now. That is a this evening problem. It's not a now problem. So I need a container for done swatches, but I don't have a container. I'm sort of short on space on my desk right now. All right. Or do I want to do, no, I want to do mild liners, because once I'm done mild liners, they can go away. The frustrating thing is I didn't realize that I'd run a mild liner dry. Had I realized, I could have picked it up last week at Empire, but I didn't realize that I'd actually run it dry. And so I didn't pick it up. So I'm going to have to find it here in Canada. I think Staples sells them, and so I should be able to pick it up. But they're a lot cheaper in the States from Gold Spot. So I wish I'd known when we were in the States last week. 1, 2, 3, 4. These new colors are not yet available in Canada. These 6, which is why I bought them when I was in the States. So I wasn't going to be able to get them here yet. Just going to have to wait. And normally I'm fine with waiting to get them, but they're very much my current aesthetic for notes, which is those muted colors. They're what I'm using in the fountain pen world right now. And so I did really want them in markers. Good afternoon. We are catching up on markers that maybe I've had on my desk in some cases for like a year and I haven't swatched or done official swatch cuts for. Like I've swatched them on the pages I'm creating with them, but maybe I haven't done official swatch cards for, and maybe that's becoming a problem. Mild liner nearest me, third from the that is a brand new color called Moss Green. So I have a whole swatch book that's just markers, inks, and pencil crayons. It's great. I love it. Like I've got swatches of embossing powder. I've got swatches of watercolor pencils. I've got swatches of normal pencils. There's my Koinori pencils that I was talking about last night that are all pencil lead. I love it. It makes planning for like coloring projects or anything really easy. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I've got 8 piles of different products from various brands that I've been using, but I just haven't taken the time to swatch or make swatch cards for. Whereas these are actually brand new. I just got these this weekend. So this is mint. Well, we'll label these after. I'm sure they look different enough that I can label them after. Oh, this is so pretty. So Gold Spot had these in stock at Empire. And so I used my affiliate credit to get any of the colors I didn't have. Though they were quite reasonable. They were $2 a pen, and I think they're 3 something here. Oh, that's so pretty. I really like that. What's this one? Oh, I have this inked up in a pen. This is like Ferris Wheel Press Spadina Rose. And what I like about both these and the Tombow pens is that they're dual-ended. So I'm using the bullet end of this one right now, but it does have a chisel end, and they do make a brush end. I just don't love the mild liner brush pens. I'm going to be honest. We're going to talk about brush pens because I have many different versions of a brush pen on my desk right now. But these are not my favorite brush pens. Ooh. I also just went to the table at Zebra and I knew the person and I went, can you just pick out all the new colors? I didn't even look at swatches. Most of my set is also almost 10 years old. So for brush pens, I prefer the Tombow dual brush pen, which are up here. Or if I want a little brush pen, I prefer the Pentel brush sign pen. If I want something waterproof and archival, I prefer the Faber-Castell Pitt pen. They're, in my opinion, better brush pens than the Zebra pens. They're very pretty. They've got a nice bouncy brush. I just think the ink works better in a highlighter form because that's how I tend to use it, or as a little bullet nib, or even in the dot pens than it does as a brush. I just don't find it bold enough in a brush. I like that they're finally adding some real greens in the past couple sets of mild liners. For the first decade these were on the market, they didn't really have any true greens. And in the past 3 years, they've started to add green. Like this and this. So it's just a darker version. I'm not mad at that. I wonder if I've got... Oh, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, I'll rearrange this now, and then I'm like, maybe I don't want to rearrange that now. Except if it's really easy to rearrange it now. I love the two greens too. And I think once we put in the mild liners, I had some highlighters up in this front row for a while. I think once we put in the mild liners, we'll officially be out of space. I'm hoping I have the package for these, because the annoying thing about these pens is that these are not labeled with their color. Ooh. It's a very muted palette this time around for Zebra. But I think it works quite well with the colors I already have. So liner. What's this? This is mint. This is moss green. And then we have smoke red. And dusty pink. I feel like they already have a dusty pink. Do they? No, they've got a coral. And then we've got iris. What's this? Mimosa yellow. What is it with everyone doing a mimosa this year? All right. And because I can, let's grab the swatch book and put these away. Keeping that placeholder for the yellow that I forgot to buy the replacement for. And I'll put the swatches away later, but at least if the pens are away, then I have one less thing to worry about. So, one, two, three, four, five, six. Because I know these are each going to move 6. There's no way they don't move 6. We're going to work from the back forward. What am I missing a swatch for? Violet. Oh, it's over here, magenta. Which I guess can go away. Used it. I can't figure out what marker paper this was. It's a lot thinner than the marker paper I'm using right now. And I really like it. It's slightly more blue undertoned. I just can't figure out what it is. I think that nothing's going in until the pinks. Let's keep moving stuff. Brown. I think it's red. It's a smoke red. This is smoke red. Yeah, that's just a lighter version of coral. Fuchsia. This should be coral. It is coral. So coral. This tray is so dusty. That is the one thing I don't like about these trays, is that these little squares collect dust and they're nearly impossible to clean. Pink. I don't know where to put you. Nope. Definitely not. Are you our first pinky purple? I think you are. Or you go after violet. Do you go after lavender? No, you definitely don't go after lavender. You go after magenta. This is how I figure out colors all the time. Honestly, maybe I didn't need to replace that yellow. I'm just going to leave that spot empty for a while until I decide if I'm actually going to replace it or not. But honestly, it's a weird yellow. I don't know how much I actually use it. Are we moving all of these? I think we are, because both of these... No, you go after smoke. And you go... And you both go up there. You're definitely in here. Okay, for now we're going to do smoke, moss. I'm going to do mint. Between blue green and summer green, because that makes sense. Mint, blue green. There we go. At a later date, I will put away swatch cards. Now I have space for 2 more markers on this tray, which is crazy. This tray used to have so much space, and it no longer does. Space for 2 more. I remember when they only had like 10 colors out, and now I think they've got like 36. It's either 30. I think it's 36. All right, that's full. We're done with that. On the other hand, I'm hoping that I have the piece of cardboard somewhere that has the color list for these, because these are also new. I picked those up at Empire because, again, I can't get them in Canada yet, and I really like them. They're my favorite little brush pen. They're super fun. They're super bouncy. They're lovely. And, of course, I have thrown out the packaging already, I think. Nope, here it is, but it does not have the list of colors on it. That's helpful. All right, to the Pentel website I go, I guess, to hopefully find the name of these 6 colors. These are probably not on the website. Does Jet Pens have the list of colors? Six pack. This one. You do have the list of colors. Fantastic. When all else fails, Jet Pens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, these are the 2023 colors according to Jet Pens, and they still aren't available in Canada. So I was happy that I was able to get them in the States, because I do absolutely adore these brush pens. I use them all the time for cards, and so it's always nice to extend the color collection just a little bit into some other colors. I'm hoping the names for these are really obvious. They look to be, though. Where did I put my black pen? Where did I put my black pen? You're kidding me. Oh, there it is. It's on my laptop. I use Jet Pens all the time. Jet Pens is honestly, if I can't find the color name for something or the information I need for something, Jet Pens is my go-to resource. These are the Pentel Touch Sign. This is apparently Coral Orange. Followed by Pale Orange. Just move these pens over here. What's the next color? The next color is Lime Green. Does this set not already contain a lime green, which is this color? I'm sure it does. Okay. I guess those, no, they look like 2 different colors. Okay. guess I have to go see what that color is actually called. Emerald green. This is light violet. I don't like how that's stamped. Make that better. And this last one is dark brown. I feel like they've also done a fluorescence set. When did this one come out? I don't have the fluorescence. I don't want the fluorescence. Light green, lime green. Okay. So I look at my binder and this entire list of pens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Apparently there are 30 of these. I don't have 30 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, I have 24 of the 30. So I'm missing 6. But I can't figure out what I'm missing. Oh, I don't have like the yellows and stuff because the yellows don't show up on anything. I have them. They are up next to Swatch. So we can talk about them next because I have them on my desk. I will tell you, I was gifted these by Zebra. And I've only used them a couple times since I was gifted them. They are super cool and I do really like them. I just don't always feel like I have the right application for using them, and I tend to do my shadows myself. But I think if you're not a person that wants to do your shadows yourself, they're a great tool. All right, how do I swatch these? Actually, let's test this once on the... Oh, I forgot how nice these were. Oh, I have to say, there's a reason these are my favorite brush pens. And have been for a long, long time. These are currently in a jar. They are going in here. I have 3 different styles of Pentel brush pens on my desk right now, though, and I'm thinking that these are going to go on the front of the tray because they're my most grabbed. So they're probably going in last. Yes, so these are the Pentel signs. I also have... Okay, one second. These are the Pentel touch signs. These are the Pentel signs, micro brushes, and then these are the Pentel sign twin brushes. They're all very different types of brush pens, which we'll talk about. These ones, which are the little ones under the name of Pen, are they still called Pentel? What does Jet Pens call them? They are called Pentel Oh, now they're called Pentel Fude Touch Brush Sign Pen. These are my favorite brush pen. I like these more than the Tombow little brush pens. These are my favorite brush pen for a small brush pen. They come in a bunch of colors. They're super bouncy. They're not too wide, but you can get some very nice stroke differentiation with them. And I find they shade quite nicely in most cases. Like you'll get a little bit of shading in them. They're just a very solid pen and they're quite bouncy. Oh, that emerald is very nice. So I guess next we should do another Pentel set. We'll probably end with Faber-Castell. Actually, let's do the mild liners next because I think they're probably the most fun and weird. And the mild liners live in a jar. I've had them for over a year. They're one of those things that I've had, I've used, I like, but they also aren't really practical. All right. This giant thing is going on the floor because it doesn't need to live here on my desk. And I do, these things fall apart. I super glue them so that they stay together. There's one thing of markers. There's another thing of markers. There's another thing of markers. And I guess we will push the Faber-Castell ones up out of my elbow room. Just so I've got a bit more maneuvering space. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, tuck those over there for the minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't even know what these are called. These are called mild liner mixes. Magenta apricot. How little I've used these. This one is not primed. There's no ink in this one. So let's do this together. You can watch the joy that is these markers being primed. I have to say they're super fun. If I'm doing shadow lettering, I'm going to do my shadows myself by hand. Oh, you can see the ink coming into the tip. I bet you 2 of these 6 are primed. There we go. I've just never, like they're, again, look at that. Like they're super pretty. I'm just going to do my shadowing by hand. There has to be a better way to swatch in these. Good enough. So this is Mild liner mix. In the color Magenta Apricot. Again, they are really pretty. It's nothing against how pretty they are as a pen. I just don't use them because I do my shadowing by hand. I think this one's primed. Haha, it is. And of course, it's all green. So this one's supposed to be green and purple and is all green. So it's a very pretty color. It's just not the green and purple mixed. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with them. If I'm going to use them, I really think twice about using them. And I have followed like all the storage instructions they said, like storing them upright. Like I've done everything they said to do with them, and it still is like that. So let's try another one. This one is not primed. We're holding into the page for the 30 seconds they say to do that for. Again, it's really satisfying. Like, look at the ink coming through that tip. They're not unsatisfying, except they sometimes don't work. And that's my problem with them. I wonder what color this is. This is coral and lemon yellow. Quite pretty. Lovely. What's really frustrating me is I don't hate this blue color. I sort of like it more than what this mix was originally, because the green and purple was always a little bit odd. This one's not primed either. I use the plain mild liners, and I just don't use them in this form. And I'm hoping that having them swatched helps, but it probably won't. They'll probably be the next supply on my cull list, actually. But I do always try. What's this? This is red and gold. Yeah, it's a really pretty color. I just didn't expect it when I followed the instructions for storage of the markers correctly, but sometimes stuff happens. Apparently these are being called everything under the sun in my notes. This is red and gold. 2 left. Are either of these going to be primed? Probably not. Nope. What's this supposed to be? This is lavender and fuchsia. This could be really pretty. This is a pink and a purple. Honestly, I probably would have done them in primary colors. I would have done like their bright yellow with a blue to make some pretty greens where they mixed. That is one way to swatch it. I'm looking forward to reaching for something more normal next. This one's fuchsia wrong. CHSIA. This one is not primed either. So what was that? 1 out of 6. I've used 1 out of 6 of these in the past year. More than a year. I got them at the sidewalk sale last year from Anne Marie from Zebra. I just haven't. I like their normal pens. I'm boring. That's interesting. The tip is quite hot pink, but it's just not showing up. So this is fuchsia and pink. There we go. There those all are. My thought is for our next thing to do, I don't know. There are a lot of options. We could go in a lot of different directions. Let's just toss those onto the floor because they go away over by the other desk. I guess really it's one of these sets. It's the Sign brush pens, it's the Sign twin brush pens, or it's the Zig Clean real brush pens, which are all very different brush pens in their own special way, because nothing in the art supply world can ever be normal. We thrive off of being a little bit extra all the time. I'm leaning towards, I don't know. I sort of want to do these ones. But if I do the Pentel ones, then they can go away. And that's an intriguing idea. Or I could just put my Pentel ones away and decide I don't care. I don't know what I want. 1 second. This has 24 plus 24 is 48 plus 12. Do I even have space in here? So this thing holds 96 pens, and we're putting in 90. Oh, I could just fill this way back. All right, we're gonna take a break from swatching then and put some pens away. And then we'll do more swatching, because I would like to look at some pretty colors. And I can, because we're putting 96 pens in here. And so the front 4 will just be other black brush pens, I guess. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That is my ending point. We have black. We have gray. That's going to go in there. We have dark brown. Yellow ochre. Pale brown. I love color. Coral, I think. Yeah. Then red. Pale pink. Nope. Red, pink, pale pink, burgundy, all right. Blue violet, light violet, gray blue. I'm shocked that I can name all these colors without a swatch sheet, or without there being names on the pens, but apparently I don't need names on pens. Blue, black. I think that's sky blue. Pale blue. Emerald turquoise. Green. Olive. There we go. put those away later after I corner around them all. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? So, in order in this case is going to be we're doing Zig, Jewels, Sharp. Let's do Kirotake Zig. Please tell me these pens have a color on them. They do have a color on them. Fantastic. These are a Japanese brush pen that are very, very pretty. And I quite like the colors of here. We'll actually put the jar back on the desk. Put pens into as we swatch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this in 2 sets of 12. That seems quasi-reasonable. Not really reasonable, but like quasi-reasonable. I just keep putting all these markers back in their packaging every time I use them. And so I'm very excited to finally have another marker rack so that they can have a home that's like out. Because it's very much with the brain injury, like out of sight, out of mind. And because they're not out and in my face, I forget that they exist. Unlike my Faber-Castell markers, which are out sitting on my desk all the time. And so I'm reaching for them all the time. So now they have a home, they're out. They very clearly exist. And I'm very excited. So I'm actually going to swatch these. Oh, I forgot about that. So they're like individual brush tips. Let me paint all over my hand to show you this, but it's like individual fibers. So this is Zig Clean Color. What's the color name? Pink. 025. And now to do this a bazillion more times. I don't know that we're going to do the full Faber-Castell set today. I don't even know that we're going to start on the Faber-Castell set today because I don't really want to. This is Cobalt Blue. I'm just gonna stop capping that pen. Luckily, it's a Staedtler pigment liner, and they take a little bit to dry out on a desk. Just part of the reason why I'm using one over a fountain pen today, because I wanted to be able to leave it uncapped. The color is brown. All right. There we go. Now all I have to do is add details. This is just called beige. What's this? Carmine red. I forgot how light your hand has to be with these. Gray. It's a very pretty blue gray. Gray. I haven't even pushed this one down to the full extent of the brush. Like, look at that. It's so nice. There are so many brush pens that just don't give you that much on the page. And the reality is, like, I didn't love this sort of tip of brush pen for a very long time. It's harder to use. There is something really nice about them, though. This is 080 Violet. They also come in 6 color sets. So this is the full set of 24. Oh no, maybe this one doesn't. Maybe this one does. I think this one does. One of them does. Dark brown. 62. And these are also all water-based. I don't love alcohol markers. I've got a couple. They're just not my favorite art supply. Whereas I do like playing with alcohol inks. Those are quite a lot of fun. It's funny. I'm finding that some of them are just a little bit stiffer than others. Like this light pink one was just so wet and bouncy, whereas this yellow one was just a little bit stiffer. Oh, 70. It's just called orange it is. Cool gray number 2, 91. Yep, 091. All right. Time for the next 12. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we'll figure out an order for these and we'll put them away. 2, 3, 4. And my thought is actually to put them away next to the other brush pens that are this sort of texture with the bristles. Just so that my stuff that is that variation are together. I like that I forgot to stop writing number. I don't like that one. That one's better. All right, there we go. Ugh. Oh, it's only been an hour since we started this. It feels like it's been so much longer. Blue gray, 92. It's a very blue gray. Black, number 10. That is a very black brush pen. You don't always find that. 032. Persian blue. Light violet. Sure, that was helpful. Throwing a pen off my desk. Oh. This is 041. Light green. This is 30 is blue. Was there a true red in this set? Now that I'm swatching them all, I don't feel like I had a true red. I had a carmine, but still. Maybe I did. See when it comes time to put out all the tiles if I had a true red or not. This is natural beige, also known as pretty much the color of me. So, a little bit more pink than I am. Not much. Green. Three left. Pale green. My fives look weird today. It's true. That is a pale green. They're not lying. I will also say they're, unlike a lot of other brands, their lip colors and their end cap colors are shockingly accurate. Not the case for most brands. Zig does a fairly good job of keeping them all accurate. I have more of these colors. Where are my other colors? Shit. I have more of these. Because I bought a 6-pack at the show. In moody colors, I bought a 6-pack. I thought I'd unpacked everything from the show, but maybe I haven't. But it also means I'm not putting these away. Because I'm missing colors. I wonder where that 6-pack is of moody colors. I don't think it's up on my desk. Upstairs. Have I seen it in my unpacking? Definitely wasn't in my sort yesterday. All right, let's label this one, and then I'll go and I'll do a quick check of my desk area. But I don't remember having seen it yesterday, which is perplexing because I thought I had unpacked everything from Empire, but maybe I haven't. And if I haven't, then where could it be? Actually, it could be in any number of places if it hasn't been unpacked. I guess those aren't going away. Because I'm missing 6 colors. And I guess I'll need to figure out if I left them in the hotel in New York, if they came home. That's fun. Can I find the pack I'm missing? I can. I can show you what I'm missing. Because Kiritaki Japan has the set. And I have not swatched them. This is what I'm missing. These lovely colors in the Smoky color collection. So we'll have to see if I packed them home or not. I thought I made sure I grabbed everything. But maybe I forgot something. That's annoying. All right. That's so annoying. Okay. I hope I just mispacked them too. I've been through all my bags though. And so that feels unlikely right now that I just mispacked them somewhere. But maybe they ended up in one of Mom's bags by accident. I don't know. For now, though, we will stick all of our done cards in here because I don't want to lose them. And we will open this pack because the thing is, if I did bring them home, I have 6 spots. And so I'll move these down 6. As I should move them down 6 anyways. Because if I forgot them, I'll probably just end up rebuying a pack in those muted colors because I do really like them. I like that this is now solely a brush pen organizer. This one just houses brush pens. So it will go next will be the Pentel set that is not the little bristles, and then it'll be the Pentel little bristles. There we go. All right. We're going to do these ones next. There are 30 of them. I'm hoping they're well labeled. Oh, they are not labeled at all with a color. Ooh, this might be more daring than I want to do. Are any of them labeled? So here's the thing. There's a color guide on the back, but the pens don't have a color code on them. I don't know that I want to do this. This might be more effort than I'm willing to put in right now. as lovely as they are, I don't know that I feel like labeling 30 pens individually, like going through figuring out what each of these 30 pens are, labeling them all, and doing swatch cards for each of the 30. That sounds like a bit too much work right now. So, as much as I really like these, we're going to leave them on the desk. I can't believe that I didn't remember that these weren't labeled. I think that's probably why I haven't done swatch cards for them up to this point, because it is such a mammoth task to do them. So let's do these ones, and then we'll be done for the day. We're going to leave the Faber-Castell set, which is in the lovely box, because I've already done some for the ones that I already own, and I don't want to go through and figure out which ones I already own and which ones are new. Again, it sounds a bit daunting for today. So we're just going to leave them out on my desk. And I will do another one of these at some point this weekend. So these shape-wise are identical to these. It's the same body as the black one. The difference is the bristles of these, because in these you have the really fine, flexible, paintbrushy bristles. So let's put out 12 cards. What are these actually called? Pentel Sign Micro Brush. Of course they are, because none of these pens can have a simple name. Yeah, today likes to be daunting, apparently. Apparently the theme of today is daunting. There we go. All right. Pink, gray. there we go. All labeled. I am using a Girologio mini desk pad for this because I don't want, normally when you use markers, you want like a padded surface between you and the desk. You want something like soft yet firm. You want some like extra layers of paper. I didn't feel like doing that, mostly because I didn't want to go get more paper from the cupboard, and so instead I'm using this desk pad and it's working really well. We are going to test on this card first because it has been a hot second since I used all right, I might be changing my order here. I sort of feel like these are so similar to these, but in a very different way, that they sort of need to go back to back. Ooh, that one was very, very juicy compared to the other two. Like, look at the Pentel Touch versus those. Like, you can tell they're related. I love how these pens feel. I don't know what it is with orange brush pens and being super wet, but they always are. I can think of a handful of orange brush pens I know that aren't super wet. Green. I'm interested to test out the black one more. I like that they call these their artist brush pens because they're never the main brush pen I reach for. I always reach for the other Pentel brush pens first. But I think now that they're swatched, now that they're out with my other brush pens, I maybe will hopefully reach for them. This one's again not as nice and juicy as some of the others. That one was lovely. That was quite nice. All right. Let's put these in an order so that I can put these away. There's a blue. There's a blue, there's a blue. Blue, yellow. Green. Purple. Pink. Red. Ochre. Orange. Brown, gray, black. Black. Gray. Brown. Ochre. Orange. These are going to be really annoying because their bands are now underneath the thing, and so you can't tell what colors they are. All right. And then we moved everything up 12 spots. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. All I'm doing today is moving around colors. As much as I love fountain pens and flex nibs, I do really love brush pens. There's just a look that brush pens give to you that I get that flex nibs can give to you, but I haven't found a flex nib that gives me the look that one of these Pentel little pens does yet. I'm sure I will at some point, but not yet. Let's do this again. Yellow, green. Oh, it's not the same black. It's a blacker black than their black pen. Sky blue, blue, blue. violet, pink, red, yellow, orange, brown, gray, black. All right, there we go. Which way these go? I'm debating just putting these away. I can always move them later if I find those missing markers. But if I put them away, then they're away. And then I just have to slot in the Pentel pens in the middle. And I sort of like the idea of that. So let's build an order. I love color. We'll leave out the Faber-Castell card because I still have the Faber-Castell ones to do at some point. Not today, but at some point. Such a weird color mix now that I'm looking at it more closely. Oh, this is why I buy open stock pens. Because now that I've got them all swatched out and I'm not like using individual pens, I'm like, I feel like I'm missing a huge variety of colors. Like I feel like I've got way too many greens and browns in this set. And I don't have a real red. I've got carmine, but it's not a red red. All right, I have my order. I don't love it, but I've got it. And by I don't love it, I mean I feel like there's a whole bunch of things missing from it. And now I feel like I'm going to go out and buy a whole bunch of markers. And I just had the opportunity to do that this weekend. And why didn't I swatch these like a week ago? Hopefully the 6 dusty colors, if I find them, will help me feel like this is a bit more well-rounded. Right now it feels very not well-rounded. Sure, just keep dropping stuff. That's helpful. What's this? Pale green. That's number 2. Light green. You're number 3. Olive green's number 4. Still haven't found the yellow. Yep, that is true. They're a lot more expensive here, and Charpak is the current US distributor of them, and Gary had a huge spread of the different colors at Empire on the weekend, and so I could have picked them up in person at the show, but I was like, I still have a set at home that I haven't fully swatched, and so we're not buying more colors other than this smoky set that I really like, which I didn't end up buying from Gary. I bought from a friend until I know for sure that nothing in it is something I already have. Lo and behold, nothing in it is something I already have, and I feel like I'm missing a whole bunch of colors. Yellow. But also I've got like 70 Tombos, so do I need more water-based markers? Not really. Cobalt blue. Persian blue. This should be blue. This is blue. Violet, light violet. Pink. Light pink. Carmine. Dark brown. Natural beige. Spray yellow it is, which is much more of an orange than a yellow. Let's be clear. That's not a yellow. Orange. Beige. Brown. Gray 2. Blue, gray, gray, black. All right. So, if we find our 6, they go here-ish, and then that is our 30. That are these unlabeled, I'm going to need much caffeine to do it set. They're very pretty. I quite like them. I just don't have it in me to label the set this evening and swatch them. So there we go. I have made progress though. And really that's what I needed to do, is make a little bit of progress in this project. Make it a little bit further than I was currently, which was not very far at all. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what markers you use in your studio. I feel like I've got a fairly good, well-rounded collection of markers in the watercolor marker world, or water-based marker world, and then I've got the Faber-Castell India ink markers. But I'm always interested in hearing what markers people are using, so I'd love to hear what you're using down below. And I will see you at some point for part 2. Thanks so much for watching.